Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Code with GoldenCat. Today we'll be talking about conditional rendering in Vue, that is using Wave and VShow. So let's begin. Here in our starter project we have a simple index.html file that contains a heading called Code with GoldenCat, then an input text box that has a two-way binding with a variable called input val, and that is defined in the data property here. Then again we have a simple heading that just says ready. Now suppose if I want this ready to be only visible when a user types in something in the text box, let's just say 3, then how can I do that? For that, we can use a directive in Vue that is called vif. So I can simply type in vif equal to if input val is equal to 3, only then it should be renderable. So if I reload this page, you can see right now it's not being visible or it's not even being rendered. But if I type 3 here, it works. However, if I type anything else like 3, 2, 1, it doesn't get rendered. So this is how you can use a vif statement. Now vif is very similar to how you use an if-else block in an object-based programming language like a Java or C#. So that being said, I can also have a vl statement here. So I can simply type in another h1 tag, and then if the user hasn't made the value input val equals to 3, then we can say standby. Now if I reload this page, you can see only standby is being rendered right now, but 3 is not being rendered. However, if I type in 3, only 3 will be rendered and not the VL statement. Now you can also have multiple statements in between the if else by using else if block as well. So for that, you can simply type in h1 and then v else if, and then I can write input val equal to, let's just say 2, and then it should say go. Now if I reload this page, and then by default it's saying standby, that is the VL statement. If I type in 2, it says go, and with 3 it says ready. So you can have multiple VLCF blocks and there is no limit to it. Now that we understand what does VF do, let's see what VShow does. So on the surface level, VShow works very similar to how VF works. So I can easily replace these statements by typing in VShow. Let's remove this else block right now and then reload this. So again, if I type in 2 here, it says go. But if I type in 3 here, it says ready. Now to demonstrate the difference between VShow and VIF, I'll need to change one of the H1s here to VIF. So now we have two headings here. One that is using VIF that says ready, and then another heading that uses VShow and is saying go. Now if I go back to my web page and reload this, and then open the developers tool and go to the div, right now you can see only the go heading is being displayed or is being rendered, but it's not being displayed. Its display is set to none. So if I write 2 here, it only removes the display value from it, which makes it visible. Whereas the ready is not even being displayed right now. If I change the 2 to say 3, now ready is being rendered and it's also visible. So there's the difference between VShow and VIF. VShow only hides the particular element, whereas VIF doesn't even render that. So as a basic rule of thumb, you should only be using VIF when you're dealing with confidential or critical data, whereas you can use VShow if you want more performance gains, because if you're using VIF, there would be some performance degrade because it would again and again render some stuff or remove some stuff, which is a little bit more performance intrinsic. Whereas in VShow, you're only changing the visibility of that HTML element. So if I have to use a real world example to explain it, Wave completely creates or removes the element from the page depending on a condition, like only bringing a puppet on stage if it's part of the story. So it's better when something doesn't need to be there most of the time. On the other hand, VShow just hides or shows the element using CSS, like putting a curtain in front of a puppet that's always on stage. So it's faster to switch but still keeps the element around even when it's hidden. So that's pretty much it for the VF and VShow. If you have any doubts or questions related to this concept, feel free to leave a comment down below. As always, we'll end this video with a quote that says, "Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly." Thank you for watching and have a great day.